9 out of 10 new entrepreneurs suffer from the same thing that keeps them from succeeding in their business, and in many cases, from even starting their business. And that thing is fear. Fear is a natural response, but in business, fear is the enemy of progress. And fortunately, when you fix the problem, then you also tear down the walls that are holding you back, which allows you to take control of your success. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you the 5 fears that can stop you from succeeding in business and tell you exactly what you need to do to conquer them. But before I get there, let's talk a little bit about what fear looks like in business. Because I'm sure you're saying,
I don't have fear. I want to build a business. I want to succeed. I'm definitely not scared of that.
And that's a normal feeling because fear isn't always obvious. Fear has a way of disguising itself. And subconsciously, we validate it by transforming those fears into imaginary obstacles that we just aren't prepared to overcome. Like, oh, I don't have the money for this, or I don't have the right partner, or nobody is supporting me, or whatever excuse we have for not launching our business or not giving it the proper attention that it needs to grow and flourish. And maybe those things are true. Maybe there are some big obstacles that you need to overcome. But likely those aren't the things that are truly holding you back, because beneath all those obstacles is some type of fear that's delaying you or making you question yourself. Success favors the aggressive, the people who kick down doors every day, jump over hurdles, and go after the success that they feel rightfully belongs to them. It's not that they're fearless per se, it's just that they don't allow the fear to stop them. After this video, it'll no longer stop you either. So let's get right into it. If there's one type of fear that will cause you to continually question yourself and never make the next move, well, it's the fear of failure. It's that feeling that you get when you're excited to try something new that can take you up to new heights, but you've got that thing in the back of your head saying, but what if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if I spend all this time, effort, and money and none of it ever pays off? It's normal to question yourself to a degree. Our ability to question things is what helps us survive and helps us to avoid potentially dangerous outcomes. If you're trapped in a jungle, for instance, and you come upon a tree full of berries, it's a good thing for reasoning to kick in and for you to ask yourself, is this poisonous? I mean, if I eat it, will I die? And if you're not sure whether it'll kill you, then it might be a good idea not to eat it. And this is important in a business sense too. Like when that scam likely call pops up on your phone and you answer it, and the caller tells you that your long lost relative in Nigeria died and they left you in their will. You probably should ask yourself, if I send them this $500, will they really send me $25 million?
Nope.
And if this ends up being a scam, how exactly does that impact my life? So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be reasonable or that you should be naive. I am saying though that if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to get pretty comfortable with failure. Because the unfortunate truth is you are going to fail in business.
What?
You're going to fail as an entrepreneur.
I'm sorry, what?
And you're going to do it many, many times on your way to the top.
Who the f is this asshole?
Guess what type of person fails a lot? Winners. And guess who never fails? Well, people who never take the shot. Have you ever heard of the company Funbag? Probably not. But it was a marketing company that fused marketing with gaming, and ultimately it failed. And the CEO, Nick Woodman, and his investors, they were out of several $1 million. Now that's a huge failure, and I'm sure that loss was pretty discouraging. But Nick Woodman took everything that he learned from those failures and put it into a new company, GoPro. And now GoPro is worth almost $900 million, although it was worth double that just 2 months ago. If it weren't for the failure, he would have never have found success. A quick shift in mindset can ultimately change the game. See, failure doesn't mean that it's over, and it doesn't mean that you are a failure. Ultimately, failure is feedback, and if you didn't fail, then you wouldn't know what weaknesses you need to fix in order to succeed. Let's change your thinking right now. From now on, instead of wondering how to avoid failure, seek to fail more. Every time that you fail, figure out why that failure happened and then change that for the next try. And if you fail again, no problem. Figure out what you did wrong and change it. But fear of failure is surrounded by numerous other fears, like the fear of embarrassment, or the fear of humiliation, or the fear that I picked for number 4, which is the fear of inadequacy. This fear doesn't just affect new entrepreneurs either. Even experienced entrepreneurs wonder if they have what it takes to win. It's common to ask yourself, am I smart enough? Am I rich enough? Am I confident enough to actually make this happen? When you have this fear, you often find yourself looking at others and thinking that they got to where they are because they are just so much better than you. And the work that you'll need to do, the things that you'll need to learn, the effort that you need to put in is just far too much, and you'll never get there. The fear of inadequacy will kill your dreams before you even have a chance to prove yourself wrong. The problem is that you're assuming that there is this humongous distance between where you are right now and where you need to be to succeed. There are many things that you need to master to be an entrepreneurial success. There's product development, marketing, sales, finance, fundraising, team building, and even operations. And when you look at all of that together, it seems like this massive load that there's no way that you can carry, especially not today. But what you're failing to realize is that no one actually asked you to have those skills today. Sure, Mark Zuckerberg needs all of those skills today as the CEO of the massive Facebook, but how many of those skills do you think he mastered on the day that he conceptualized Facebook? None? Well, maybe he had one, which was product development. And even that's questionable since someone else arguably built the initial site FaceMash, which eventually became Facebook. All he needed was that one skill. And then somewhere down the line, he had to figure out how to market the product. So he learned that part. And then eventually, Facebook had to raise money from investors. So he learned that part. And then fast forward a few years, and he compounded all the knowledge that he needed to run a multi-billion-dollar company. At each step, his load got a little bit lighter until he had all the information and all the skills that he needed to run a business at the level that he once only dreamed of. If you want to overcome the fear of inadequacy, then you have to come to terms with the fact that you actually are inadequate.
I hate you.
Today, you're probably not fit to run a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar business. You probably don't have the knowledge. You probably don't have the network. You probably don't have what it takes to run a business at that level. But no matter who you are, you do have what it takes to make it to the next step. And maybe that next step is figuring out how to hire a developer so that you can build the first version of your software. Or maybe it's writing up a business plan. Or maybe the next step is finding your next customer. Knowledge is all about compound interest. You accumulate it as you go, assuming that you keep seeking it out. And during your experience, you will make mistakes and you'll have failures. And as you overcome your fear of failure, you'll gain the knowledge that you need to overcome your fear of inadequacy too. The third fear that will keep you far from success is the fear of communication. I would definitely consider myself an introvert. If it were up to me, I would be just like this guy, sitting at the house at my desk all day and night, barely going outside and talking to anyone, typing at my computer all day, and only communicating through email and text. Oh, wait, that is me. Hey, what's up, man? The truth is, I really don't like going outside of my social comfort zone. But business isn't a one-man sport. Eventually, you'll have to deal with partners, clients, team members, and even investors. You'll have to network, shake a bunch of hands, and introduce yourself to people who can help progress your business forward. You'll have to get in front of investors and sell your business, and get in front of clients and sell your products. And you'll have to do it all confidently. If you're not a social butterfly, that can seem pretty intimidating. Most people take the easiest route when they feel uncomfortable: avoidance. If you're scared of talking to prospects, the easiest thing to do is just not talk to prospects. If you're scared of pitching investors, the easiest thing is to say, well, we don't have the funds, and then let that be your indefinite excuse for not moving forward. But if you want to be successful in business, you can't do what most people do. You're going to have to come out of your shell, put your game face on, and get out into the real world. Practice makes perfect. And the more that you talk about your business, the easier it will be to actually talk about your business. So practice, and practice some more. Practice in the mirror talking to yourself. And when you feel comfortable with that, then practice on your family members and your friends. You know, people who you actually feel comfortable with. A lot of times though, this fear really isn't even about communication. It's about rejection. And the fear of rejection goes back to the fear of failure. Even after you practice your pitch or practice your sales presentation, you're still going to get rejections. But every no brings you one step closer to a yes. And once you get enough yeses, well, I promise that you're gonna find yourself excited to talk, knowing that every conversation moves you towards more money and more success. You have to actually learn to communicate. And you can practice right now by communicating to me, whether you're liking this video by clicking the like and subscribe button. And don't worry, we're family here. I'll never reject you. All of the fears that we mentioned so far really go back to one thing, which is the fear of failure. But failure isn't the only thing that will prove to be a huge obstacle. The number 2 fear that you might experience is the fear of missing out, or FOMO. We all have that one entrepreneur friend. You know, the one who seems to hop on every business trend, and every other week they're starting a new business, and then 2 weeks later they're starting another one, and you never ever hear anything about the old one again. If some new MLM business is gaining steam, then they're a part of it. If printing t-shirts is becoming popular, then they just bought a printing machine but never seem to actually ever print any shirts. If people are selling dinners on Facebook, then they're firing up their kitchen. But nothing ever sticks because nothing ever gets enough attention to actually grow. The grass is rarely greener on the other side. You shouldn't be so busy watching what everyone else is doing and wishing that you had their success that you end up ignoring the business that you already have. No matter what business you get into, it's not going to be an easy journey. So it's better to just stay on the road that you've already been traveling instead of constantly starting over and moving further and further away from your destination. Choose a business that you are committed to sticking with and master it. Grow a business to success and then start your next one after that. Otherwise, you'll never have the chance to see what your business can actually become. And finally, we have our number 1 fear that you need to conquer in business. And this is one that nobody actually wants to admit. It's the fear of success. Of course, we all want successful businesses that make money. Yes, we want the recognition as competent business owners. But success means change, and that can be scary for some people. As your business scales, so does your responsibility. It means more work and more time away from your family. It means doing a lot more of the things that make you uncomfortable. And some people just don't want to commit to that. So they sabotage themselves in order to avoid success. In some cases, they'll procrastinate on doing things that could further their success, not giving their full effort. In other cases, they'll place obstacles between themselves and their goals, whether consciously or subconsciously. And in some cases, they'll quit right before the success actually comes. If success is what you're after, you should really think about what that means. There might be habits, hobbies, and even people that you'll end up leaving behind. There will probably be new responsibilities added to your already busy schedule. But think about those things from the beginning and make sure that you're ready for them. That way, when success comes, you'll know what to expect and you can shift your life accordingly. But maybe you're already nearing success and it's kind of freaking you out. In that case, you have to determine why you actually feel the way you do and why you're fearing something that you actually dreamed about before. It might come down to your fear of being scrutinized, or even that you've got a case of imposter syndrome, or that you don't feel worthy of the success that you're getting. All of these are valid, but they're also fixable. The good news is that success doesn't happen overnight. It happens in stages, step by step. And every time you level up, it gives you the opportunity to adjust. That means adjusting your life, adjusting your mindset, and adjusting your overall lifestyle. It's not like winning the lottery where one day you're a regular person and then the next day you're a multimillionaire with 100 new responsibilities. As an entrepreneur, you will constantly learn how to become more successful. And along with that, you consistently learn what it takes to manage your role. Now the pressure is on you to overcome your fears and get started. And the quicker that you conquer them, the faster that you'll get your business up and running. And when you pair your new fearlessness with the right strategy, then you can get your business up and running in less than 90 days. So check out this video right here and learn the step-by-step process for launching new startups in less than 3 months, even if you're starting from zero. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and keep doing amazing shit.